Hello, I'm Ray Christian with Penzars Media, home to situational golf. I'm here today with Kent Chase, one of the best golf instructors in the business. He's been teaching for over 30 years, has some great students, and we're here today to interview Kent, talk to him about his past, and maybe filming him in the future. So Kent, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure for me to be here as well.
So did you play high school golf?
Yep. It's kind of funny. I told you about that a little bit about gymnastics. Freshman year, got on the gymnastics team, hoping to get stronger. Possibility of me being a halfback or in football or a guard or the second baseman I love to be, and possibility it would help golf. So I didn't know which one I was going to totally pursue at that point. But somehow, I played with a kid on the high school team named Bud Hathaway, Coronado High School, by the way. And by the way, if you look in the history, we won the state championship quite a few times back in the day, like Hamilton and Xavier do now. But anyway, I'm playing golf with this kid named Bud Hathaway, and we got to be good buddies, and he's on the golf team, and I'm beating him more than 50% of the time. And Bud will probably hear this whole story, but he knows the story. So anyway, he said, you need to come off of the golf team. So I thought, I don't know, you guys are already state champions, blah, blah, blah. So I went to the coach, Jerry Taylor is his name, Coach Jerry Taylor, and went to him and I said, Mr. Taylor, and I'm about like maybe 4'9". I was the littlest kid in school. And now I'm all the way up to 5'6", which is probably why I relate well with juniors, because I'm not some towering, looking down at them type person.
Sure.
But anyway, so I said, Mr. Taylor, and I'm looking straight up, is it possible I could go off your golf team? And he looked down at me and goes, you know, young man, we already have state champion golf team, and we don't need any more players here. And I said, but I play with one of your players in your team, and I beat him half the time. He goes, who you play with on my team? I go, Bud Hathaway. And you can compete with him? I go, yeah, we're pretty even. He goes, wait a minute, what do you shoot? And he's looking right down at me. And I go, I'll shoot about 74, for 18 holes, pretty much. He goes, no way. I go, yeah. He goes, okay, I'll let you come on the van today. I'll get approval from your parents. Give me the phone number. You can go to because we're going to Papago. And Papago Golf Course was our home course. And so there we go off to, that afternoon we drove off to Papago, and we were only playing 9 holes, and I shot 37, and he said, you're on the team.
Wow.
And at the end of the year, they made me accept the trophy.
So Kent, that was a heck of a great high school story. Did you go on to college? Did you play golf at college?
Actually, it's a pretty cool story. I went from Coronado High School. My senior year, I became pretty good at golf. Prior to that, we had all the best players in the state. We had, in fact, 4 of us are golf professionals. Pretty cool. Scott Watkins, Mike Lindsay, Mark Johnson, Chip Harris, John Arner, Kent Chase, but all of us eventually got to play a little golf for a living. So those guys got their good scholarships to ASU and different things like that. And I was the latest bloomer, so I only had interest from George Boutel. George Boutel was the coach at Arizona State back then. And he asked me, he came to me several times, watched me hit balls, watched me play. He offered Mike Lindsay, who's the director of golf at McCormick Ranch right now, a nice scholarship, and he offered me the opportunity to walk on. I didn't know what to do, and then some other schools, small schools, like Division III type schools, were interested in me, and then Scottsdale Community College. It was Coach Giovanno. He recruited me, and my dad and me went and visited him, and he came and watched me play quite a few rounds of golf. And we decided that might not be a bad idea, because I'll have a year or two to get a lot better, and I'll be competing on a regular basis on the team. Instead of sitting on the bench at ASU hoping I can play one day, I would be able to play.
Sure.
So I play. So I got pretty cool. And then Steve Loy, who currently is Phil Mickelson's agent, actually has been for a long time, he became the head coach. So he became the head coach of Scottsdale Community, so I played for Steve Loy. And somehow he believed in me and actually helped me out with my swing a lot. He actually knew a lot about the golf swing, and how to practice, and there were some pretty cool things with how he influenced me in a positive way. And all of a sudden I make All-American, and I'm like, wow, that opened up doors. Things got opportunities came then. So it was the right decision. I tell a lot of my players, it's not a bad thing. They're afraid. Parents want them at, Stanford or USC or Pepperdine or Arizona State or, they don't feel good about their child going to a community college. I think it's great. One of my students, Will Twitty, he just made All-American at South Mountain Community College. Howard Twitty, his PGA Tour event, he won several events, but he retained his tour card for 23 years in a row, which is shockingly amazing. That's talent. And he was willing to let his son go to a community college to prepare for bigger things.
And he was your student?
Oh yeah, I've spent hours with Howard's son, Will. In fact, Howard, I was the only guy Howard would let work with his son, which is pretty cool.
That's a great vote of
Yeah,
confidence right
cool,
there.
yeah.
I mean, somebody off the tour.
I know, right? So, yeah. So, anyway, Will can ball strike it now. He's talented. So, anyway, he makes All-American, and he just got a scholarship and signed and committed to University of San Diego. So, pretty cool. To me, if you can go to a community college first, reach a new level, it opens up doors, just like it did for me, like it did for Will Twitty. So I got to go to, the option I took was Florida International University in Miami, Florida. Coach Bobby Shea recruited me, and we got to fly out there and check it out, and some major golf courses with water. I mean, we think some of the courses around here have nice lakes. Well, they're all man-made. Over there, there's lakes everywhere. I mean, it was tight holes, lakes, like Doral Country Club, like the Blue Monster. So we got to play there a lot, Fontainebleau Country Club, a lot of different Key Biscayne on the ocean. So all of a sudden I accepted that scholarship. Great apartment, great place. And because of accepting that to a Division II school, the reason that was the best choice for me, by the way, is because there was a degree called hospitality management. Nobody had heard of that at that time. But there was something called hotel, restaurant, and country, specializing in country club management. So I thought, okay, if I don't make it in golf, I'll be a golf pro somewhere with experience on running an entire country club. So country club management made sense to me. So I went there because of that, or because of a lot of reasons. Because I knew I'd be on the team playing every day and blah blah blah. So what the coach really and made me excited about. I won't be sitting on the bench. I will be playing. I will be starting 5 guaranteed. And they play University of Houston. Fred Couples is on that team. Southern Methodist, Payne Stewart's on that team. Centenary, Hal Sutton's on that team. All these places that we're going to compete against, all these Division I schools, and an amazing traveling tournament schedule. So all of a sudden I find myself paired with Fred Couples or Payne Stewart or Hal Sutton or Ken Green or Bob Toyer, John Cook or Mark O'Meara. I get to be playing. Okay, so I went to a school where I wasn't sitting on the bench, and I get to meet these people, get to know them, get to compete against them. Brought me to a whole new level. Best thing I ever did. So I am if you're Andrew Yoon, one of my guys that I brought up, that I've helped a lot in his career, he's #1 player in Stanford. If you're that good, go to Stanford. But if you're like me, I think I'm good. Let's find out. Well, that's the best way I ever found out.
Realism.
Yep.
Wow. So, did you finish up in Florida?
Yeah, got my BS degree in hospitality management, specializing in club management, and yeah.
Well, you obviously aren't managing the club. So what happened then? Did you play on any tours?
Actually, the first thing I did when I graduated is came home to Arizona with my college roommate, and my dad let us share a room. He let Bill May. In fact, Bill May won the Orange Bowl one year. Where there's a Will, there's a May. We made it on the cover of Golf Digest, might have been Golf Magazine, but where the Will, there's a May. So my dad, because he's so talented, what a great thing, have him. We could have 2 beds in this one room, and
Sure.
He could live there, and we could travel and play together. So we did. So before we turned pro, we both decided we were going to get ready for the U.S. Amateur. So we wanted to qualify for the U.S. Amateur, which was going to be a Pinehurst #2. I forgot to tell you this part. On the way from Florida, I was driving my Mustang and we stopped at Pinehurst, and we stayed there with our buddy Joe Schumer, who's also a golf professional. We stayed with him at Mid Pines. We spent a lot of time practicing at Pinehurst and North Carolina Country Club and Mid Pines and different courses. Then we drove home, and then I qualified. He missed by 2 shots. I qualified, so my dad and me went back to Pinehurst, and that was the last tournament I ever played as an amateur, but going to where I went to school and then doing that well at the U.S. Amateur allowed me to get sponsorship to play golf for a living. So that was pretty cool. So the goal obviously was to get my PGA Tour card.
Sure.
And the first year I went, it was at Crystal Air Country Club, and I bogeyed 3 out of the last 6 holes to miss by 2 golf shots. But played some outstanding people in those events. Mac O'Grady, he's wearing this flannel shirt, something that looks like cowboy boots, and he's got a cowboy hat on, and I'm like, this is a Q school? And I get, who's that guy? Well, it was Mac O'Grady, and I ended up paired with him in the final round, with him and Fred Couples, in fact. And this Mac O'Grady guy could flat out ball strike it like as good as Fred Couples. I'm like, dang, Freddie hit it further than him, but I'm like, wow, this guy is gifted. And he had this side of the cowboy hat turned up so he could finish. And yeah, he made it that year, and he went on to win on tour, and Freddie made it that year, and I'm the only guy that missed it in that pairing on the final round. But anyway, I went on to play the Asian Tour, played a lot of different mini tours, Space Coast, the NGA Tour they used to have, spent time playing in Mexico, even got to do some neat things in Central America. And believe it or not, even Alaska of all places. But yeah, I got to travel the world and all that. And then I played in a lot of PGA Tour events along the way as well.
You have any good stories about the PGA events? About anything you can talk about? The fellow players or anything.
Probably my favorite is playing with Chichi Rodriguez. I mean, what a thrill! Of all things, I'm paired with Chichi Rodriguez and Raymond Floyd. And it took Raymond until number 14 to know I was part of the group. And then for the last 4 holes, we were friends. And I was afraid of him anyway, because he does have that stare. He's got those eyes. I mean, it's scary to be around him because he already won the Masters and all that. And I'm paired with him and Chichi. Chichi was my buddy by the 2nd hole.
Sure.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
He's a lot of fun.
And we both were happy-go-lucky people, like you can see I am, and we're willing to talk to people on the other side of the ropes, and Raymond's down the middle and all that. But I get number 12, Phoenix Country Club, Phoenix Open, and actually it was number 13, par 3, probably 220. I've got 4-iron. I hit a bad shot, and I slammed my club on the ground. Dang it, gave my club to the caddy. I look at my ball. It's not flying as high as normal because I hit it thin. It didn't fly as high as normal, didn't fly as far as normal, but it was lower since it was thin. Took a long first bounce, stopped about a foot from the hole. I tap it in for birdie. 2 holes later, if you remember Phoenix Country Club, number 15 over the lake, par 3. I got 5-iron. Same stupid thin shot. And I am not too happy, so I bang my club on the ground again, give it to my caddy, but I'm kind of angry. I'm still like 4 under par, playing great. And that was that. 18th hole, walking, we're done. 18th hole, walking off the 18th green. Chichi Rodriguez can say the words he was about to say, because him and me are the same size. He puts his arm around me, because we were buddies by then. He goes, hey, little man, how come you complain all the time when you hit your ball right by the hole on the par 3s out there? I go, because I hit bad shot. I hit him bad. I hit him thin. They were horrible. He goes, what, did you miss by a groove what you wanted to feel? I missed by 1 scoring line. Good point. He goes, you swung towards the target. Your club face is aiming at the target. You knocked it a foot. Spectators clapping, and you're calling it a bad shot? I go, okay, I think I've learned something here. Good point.
Wow, that's a great story.
He goes, I hit half of my balls thin. I hit it good or I hit it thin. I just never hit behind the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can play fine. I said, you know what? I think I've learned a real lot today.
You can learn a lot from a lot of those guys.
Raymond, by the way, I need to say, because I made him out to be a bad guy, what a great guy, because later I got to know him, and he's got the stare, he's tuned into his own deal, and I understand.
Yeah,
And
that's
not everybody can
professional
be
golf.
like Fred Couples playing golf with him. My gosh, what a great guy. I can tell you
Is he
guys.
as happy-go-lucky when it's on?
Final round, he goes, if I can remember this right, and I don't think Freddie will get mad at me if I got it barely wrong, but I'm quite close to perfect on this one. Number 5, he hits it in the lake off the tee. He chooses to lay up. Me and Mac O'Grady are ripping driver around the corner.
Mhm.
And why is Freddie the one laying up? And it went too far on the layup, so it went in the water with his 1 iron. We used to use 1 irons. So he's shooting 3. We used to drop like that. So he drops like that, and now he's got to hit this under that tree there, but over that tree slider with OB over there. It went straight, OB. Hit it in the lake and OB on the same hole. Hole number 13 at Crystal Air Country Club, California. Mac O'Grady and me both bomb it over the lake, because I hit it pretty far for a little guy, okay? Freddie hits it 50 yards by us. Why is he the guy hitting 3 wood left of the lake being safe? And I'm like, oh my gosh, why is he hitting 3 wood? And he's got to go between the lake and the OB instead of over the whole lake, widening everything out. He went OB. He's got 2 OBs and hit it in the lake, and I believe he signed for a 67 or 68 with 2 OBs in the lake. Oh, I'm like, and Matt, when that ball went out of bounds the second time, I thought, I bet that this would be a perfect time to see somebody be pretty angry. No, he just did his third shirt thing and
Yeah.
went on. Pretty cool.
He's still there today, too.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you another story. I got to tell you this. Hal Sutton, great to play with, a lot of cool stories. This might be my best story. Payne Stewart, Asian Tour. And Payne Stewart and me got to be good buddies along the way, by the way.
That's a testament to who you are.
So, what a great guy that guy was. When I first met him, he was way too cocky for me, I thought. And he went off to Australia and fell in love with somebody and married her, and she's the person that, all the heartwarming stories you've heard, and she is a great person too, by the way. But with her, Payne was a changed man. What a great man. Not that he's a bad guy before, but he was pretty cocky, but he explained to me years later, hey, if I don't know I'm the best player, and it's unfortunate, maybe it gives me this look, but if I don't believe I'm the best player and have some whatever look you guys want me to have, then I'm probably not going to be the best player. So I just need to go with what I'm doing to be the best player. And I said, okay. So anyways, hole number 36, hole number 18, day 2, Singapore Open, hard dog leg left. I'm on the tee first, and all I need to do is par the last hole to make the cut, because I'm on the right on the cut line, and we all know it. And I hit my tee shot left. It was high, but you can't carry the jungle over there.
Mm-hmm.
And my caddy threw me a ball and took off. My caddy didn't speak English. My caddy's gone. And I'm like, there ain't no way he's going to find that ball. I think I missed the cut. So Payne hit, and believe this or not, the guy named Kim Suk Bong, that's his true name, great Korean guy, he hit, and then it was my turn to hit my provisional, which I hit perfect. And we walk out there, and there's my caddy way around the corner standing by a ball. And I'm like, Payne, that would have to be 400 yards to hit where that ball is. What am I supposed to do? He goes, well, if that's your ball, it's your ball. I don't know. There's no TV cameras. There's no spectators. I mean, there's some spectators, but whatever he did, nobody saw it. He goes, to be honest with you, I don't think there's an option because your guy doesn't speak English. My caddy doesn't speak English. I don't see how you would have carried those trees either, but I think you got to play it as it was. I said, but then am I stealing something from somebody else? I'm making somebody else miss the cut because of this?
Sure.
And he goes, there's no possible way to do anything except go play that ball. That's what you have to do. Identify it. If it's your ball, you can try to call that caddy of yours a cheater or a liar all you want. But you guys don't speak the same language. I don't think it's going to be very easy.
That's really interesting.
I don't.
So you played the ball.
I had to. Well, the guy. Plus, my problem was the guy. He needs a paycheck. If his pro doesn't make the cut, he's then he's got a little paycheck.
Sure.
So anyway, that's fair. I think it was a fair decision. All that. And I've talked to several rules people along the way, that believe what else can you do?